Good evening. Tonight, 3 athletes, 3 live events, and 3 moments where one mistake turned everything fatal. An entrance stunt, and a harness that released too soon. A final lap at Daytona, a tap that looked routine until it wasn't. A football match in Lyon, no contact, just collapse. In the next few minutes, I'll show you the exact second each story became irreversible. We begin with the most infamous entrance in sports history.
The lights drop inside Kemper Arena. The noise swells, then settles under the music. For a few seconds, the crowd is doing what crowds always do, cheering for a moment that's supposed to be pure show. Because Owen Hart isn't coming out to fight yet. He's coming out to perform. Tonight, he's the Blue Blazer, a superhero parody. Cape, mask, the whole joke. The entrance is meant to be a quick laugh, descend from the rafters, dangle awkwardly like a hero who can't quite stick the landing, then unclip near the ring and move on. Fast, clean, funny. Up above the ring, in the catwalks where the air feels colder and the metal under your boots vibrates with bass, Owen clips into the harness, checks the latch, tightens the line. Below him, thousands of faces are turned toward the entrance. Most of them not even looking up yet, because nobody expects danger from an entrance. And that's the trap. A wrestling bump is rehearsed risk. A stunt is engineered risk. The difference is supposed to be simple. If something goes wrong, the system catches you. But here, the system depended on something that was never allowed to fail. A quick release. It's designed for speed. A clean detach. No awkward unhooking in front of the cameras. Just a click. Done. Then, without warning, it releases early. There's no time for a second thought. No chance to grab a rail. One moment he's suspended above the ring, and the next he's dropping. Too fast, too heavy, too real. The sound is wrong. The timing is wrong. The crowd doesn't scream like it's entertainment. It reacts like it just witnessed an accident. Down at ringside, people sprint in. Someone waves frantically. Others try to block sightlines. On commentary, the tone snaps out of show and into shock. Jim Ross tells viewers, again and again, that this is not a storyline. Medics rush the ring. CPR begins. Owen is placed on a stretcher and taken out. Later, he's pronounced dead. And then comes the second moment that makes this story infamous. The show continues. For viewers at home, it's surreal, like the broadcast is trying to outrun reality. For the people in the building, confusion hangs in the air, because nobody knows what to do with the fact that something lethal just happened in a place built for scripted violence. This is why the "one mistake did it" theme fits Owen so perfectly, because the fatal moment wasn't a fight, it was a decision made earlier, choosing an entrance that required one latch to behave flawlessly. In stunts, quick is the enemy of fail-safe. One premature release, and there's no second chance. Next, we leave the rafters and go to Daytona, where the crash doesn't look catastrophic at first, until you understand what actually killed him on the final lap. Daytona has a sound you don't forget. It's not just engines. It's the way the whole place vibrates, like the air itself is being ripped open. And on February 18th, 2001, that sound meant one thing. The Daytona 500 was about to end. Final lap. Up front, Michael Waltrip is leading. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is right behind him. And in third is the man everyone in that building recognizes by silhouette alone. Dale Earnhardt Sr., the black number 3, the driver who made intimidation feel like a driving style. But here's what most people miss. Earnhardt isn't chasing the trophy in that moment. He's guarding it. In stock car racing, protection is violent math. You don't block once. You block every second. Mirror checks, tiny steering inputs, a car drifting toward your bumper at 180 miles per hour. And you're trying to hold a line that keeps your teammates safe without triggering a wreck that takes all of you out. Earnhardt throws his car across lanes like a moving door, shutting one run, then another. The crowd is screaming because it looks like control, But control at Daytona is fragile. One wrong angle turns stability into a spin. Behind him, Sterling Marlin is hunting for space. Ken Schrader is there too. 3 cars converging in the same breadth of track, each making micro-decisions faster than the brain can narrate. And then it happens. A light contact. Marlin to Earnhardt's right rear. Not a Hollywood hit. Not a huge explosion. Just a tap at the exact wrong time, with the car loaded up in a turn. The number 3 snaps sideways, slides down the banking, and slams the outside wall in turn 4 almost head-on. From the stands, it looks like a crash you've seen before. That's what makes it so haunting, because the danger isn't how dramatic it looks, it's how fast the car stops. On the broadcast, there's an awkward pause. On pit road, the energy changes. Crews stop moving like this is routine and start moving like they already know something is different. Schrader pulls up and immediately calls for help. Safety workers rush in. The cameras don't show what everyone is suddenly thinking. Earnhardt doesn't survive. The injury is catastrophic. The kind motorsport people feared most because it can happen in the blink between "I'm fine" and "it's over." And this is the one mistake did it punch. One tiny touch, one slight rotation, one impact angle. At the exact moment the sport had the least forgiveness. After Daytona, NASCAR's relationship with safety changes. The conversation gets real, fast. Head and neck restraint use, better barriers, better energy absorption. The sport didn't just lose a star. It lost the illusion that normal crashes are normal. Next story is the opposite of speed. No wreck, no stunt, no collision. Just a football match. And a player collapsing in open space, with an entire stadium realizing at once, this isn't an injury, it's a life. The most terrifying moments in sports aren't always violent. Sometimes nothing happens at all, until one athlete's body quietly quits in the middle of play, and the entire stadium realizes the danger was invisible the whole time. June 26, 2003, Stade de Gerland, Lyon. Cameroon versus Colombia in the Confederations Cup semifinal. The game is tense but controlled. No chaos, no reckless tackles, no warning signs that a tragedy is already winding up. Marc-Vivien Foe is 28, a midfielder, built like an engine, strong legs, constant movement, the kind of athlete people describe as never stops running. If you were asked to pick the last player on that pitch who might suddenly fall, most fans would not pick him. That's what makes the moment so disturbing. Around the 72nd minute, play shifts away from him. Foe drifts into space near the center circle, jogging lightly, scanning the field like he's done his entire life. No one is near enough to touch him. No collision, no slide tackle, not even a stumble that looks like a cramp. And then he drops. Not like a player exaggerating contact, not like someone easing down to stretch a leg. He collapses forward and lands face down on the grass, motionless in a way your brain rejects at first, because sports teaches you that pain is dramatic, recoverable, part of the performance. This isn't performance. Players react instantly. Hands go up, screaming for medical staff. Teammates circle him with a kind of panic you almost never see in professional football, because they can tell, from one glance, that this isn't a normal injury. Medics sprint onto the pitch. The broadcast pulls back, and the sound in the stadium changes. Thousands of people trying to be quiet and failing, because fear creates noise even when nobody wants it. Treatment begins immediately. Foe is worked on there and then taken away for further medical care. Despite efforts to save him, he is pronounced dead later that day. Reports afterwards said he died from cardiac arrest, with an underlying heart condition involved. That detail is what makes this story hit so hard, because it reframes the entire scene. He wasn't unlucky. He wasn't reckless. He wasn't in danger because of the match. He was in danger because the human body can carry a silent defect, something you can't see on the scoreboard, something training can't outwork, until the exact wrong moment when the heart can't keep up with the demands. So where does "one mistake did it" fit here? In this case, it's not a single villain. It's a single assumption. that elite fitness equals safety, that a young professional athlete is protected by talent, by conditioning, by the fact that this is a top-level event with medical staff nearby. But when a heart stops, seconds matter, and the margin for rescue collapses as fast as the body does. 3 athletes, 3 different sports, same brutal pattern, one tiny moment that couldn't be taken back. Which turning point hit you hardest, and why? Owen's release? Dale's last lap tap? Or Foe collapsing in open space? If you want part 2, comment the sport you want next. MMA, climbing, cycling, or extreme endurance. And click the next video on screen, because the next set of stories is even more seconds from safety.